Hello everyone, Mitch again. Sorry it's been a while once again, but that's a couple days before Christmas now. Have some time off from work, so I'm going to take this opportunity to shoot some videos. And today I want to talk about the MI-24, the Hind helicopter, which as a kid grew up to fear growing up in the 80s and seeing videos of it flying in Afghanistan and the Afghan-Russian War and the Cold War, thinking that the Hinds would come flying in and paratroopers dropping in on us, some Red Dawn stuff. Although they didn't actually use an MI-24 in that movie. It was supposed to be, but not so much. So, as I said in previous videos, we did a lot of work with the Polish military, Polish Special Forces, and also the Polish Air Force. And while we were at Ghazni, we did a mission where I believe we were on our way back from somewhere, and we got a call for a mission. There were supposed to be troops in contact on the ground. We made contact with the troops on the ground. They were indeed in contact, and this was at somewhere towards the beginning of our deployment. And they didn't have super strict rules as far as going into hot LZs like they did towards the end of our deployment. However, we decided to make a crew decision. We asked the entire crew if they thought it was all right to go in. Let's go ahead and do it. So we went in, landed in this big open field. As far as I know, there was small arms fire. You could hear it. But then all of a sudden, everything just stopped. The medic jumped out of the aircraft, ran over to the troops on the ground to retrieve the patient, and we're looking around like thinking, what the hell just happened? And right off, I believe from our 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock position, well, right off our nose, but from left to right, we saw two Mi-24 helicopters flying probably less than 200 feet off the ground. And they just started circling us. And obviously we knew they weren't Russians, and we knew they were Polish. So not a single shot was fired from those aircraft. They heard us on the radio that we had a mission, and they decided they were in the area, and they decided let's give these guys a hand. So they didn't have to fire a single shot. Just the simple idea that they were there. And just their presence alone just put the fear in the bad guys enough to keep them from continuing to fire. So we picked up the patient without a hitch, went back to base, dropped the patients off, and immediately went over to the Polish side of the base where the Mi-24s were, and the Mi-24s that supported us. They came in shortly, I can't remember, shortly before or shortly after us. However, they got back, and we walked over to the pads where they were parked at, and proceeded to thank these guys, give them hugs, and it was from that point on we had a kind of a negotiated deal with the Polish Air Force and the commander there on base that they would fly in support of us. Their only rules were that they could not fly in zero illumination. And we could fly on zero illumination. We absolutely hated it, but we could. And what that means is for non-military types, zero illumination means that there's no stars, no moon, nothing. What do you mean there's no stars? Well, it's because a lot of times you have overcast. You go out on a cloudy night, you can't see a single star. So the way night vision goggles work is they take ambient light and they amplify it. So any light source, stars, moon, and even artificial light, they can amplify that light. And so without illumination, your night vision goggles don't function very well. You just go into a green sparkle fest where you're just looking at green sparkles, and it's extremely difficult to fly and to see. So that was their only rule, that they did not fly in zero illumination. And the reason why they were going to support us is because we didn't have any Apaches at Fob Ghazni. And our closest Apaches were at Shank. So that was a good 20, 25-minute flight. And at any given time, those guys were out doing their own missions, and they could be 50 to 100 miles away when we needed support. And no fault of theirs, they were just spread too thin. So to cover that, the Hinds would support us, and they would go out on missions with us. And it was really an awesome sight to see that. I know I had done a previous video where we flew with the Hinds, and we actually took photos with them and everything else. One of the missions we did with them was a Afghan police officer had appendicitis, and it was kind of frightening going out to this police checkpoint out in the mountains and to get this guy. And at first they weren't going to let us go, but they decided, okay, the Hinds are going to support you. So they flew out there. We left super early in the morning, went out to pick him up. I have to commend the guys on the ground. What I mean by the guys on the grounds were the Afghan police. They did a phenomenal job of marking the LZ. They actually lit a fire on one side of the LZ to create smoke, so they didn't have smoke grenades. So that way we had wind cues and we knew which way to land. And they flew in support of us, and it was pretty awesome to see those guys with us, and pretty powerful, large aircraft. But anyway, I just wanted to share that story about the Hinds, and I'll do some more videos here. Pretty short order. So, all right. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll do my next video very soon. Thanks, everybody.